Welcome, everybody. Luxury Fridays, Luxury Specialist podcast here. I'm so excited. We got Mr. YouTube is going to be on here, and we're going to learn. We're going to be talking everything YouTube today. Video is not going away. Okay, Google's the number one search engine out there. YouTube is number two, and we're going to be talking YouTube. You're a beginner. You're a seasoned veteran. What's working today? All things YouTube today. But before we do it, it's been a while. We took the summer off. It's our first podcast here in a few months, and we're going to be coming to you regularly. If you have any questions, you have any suggestions, you want to nominate somebody for a podcast guest, by all means, reach out. Our email is michael@marketingluxurygroup.com, michael@marketingluxurygroup.com. And some big announcements since we last were with you. Our book came out in May. It hit bestseller in 6 categories. It's on Kindle, it's softcover, it's hardcover, and we'll be releasing here in a few weeks Audible as well. So we're really excited about this. You can find about the book, the contributors. We have 26 people in this book, 26 rock stars. You can go to Secrets of Top Luxury Agents to read their bios, to listen to their interviews, plus a bunch of other freebies. You can go to Secrets of Top Luxury Agents for more information there. Or if you'd like to get a copy of the book and you live in the U.S., absolutely free, go to freeluxurybook.com, free luxury book. Just pay the shipping and handling. But this book is on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble. You'd pay 30 plus shipping. You're just going to pay the shipping and handling. Or you can, if you're outside of the U.S., you can get a free digital copy at freeluxurybook.com. All things real estate, all things luxury. So a lot of things don't even apply to luxury as well that we're going to be talking about today. I have my good friend Ken. I'm going to bring him on. I was just in Orlando for the Florida Association of Realtors Conference, as well as some coaching. You know, all top performers have coaches. Michael Jordan had a coach. Tiger Woods has coaches. I know big CEOs of big real estate franchises have coaches. John Cheplack coaches many of them, and I'm honored to be speaking at his upcoming event in Tahoe in September. You can go to cheplacktahoe.com for more information or reach out privately. But we, as well, have a coach and got a lot of good nuggets, which I'll be sharing over the next couple of weeks. You'll also be seeing a lot of quick little snippets from us. We're doing motivational luxury. They call it luxury minutes, we're calling them. Every day we'll be releasing some content. So we're excited. The best is yet to come. We have some exciting announcements with Lux, our gear. We got new hoodies. We got new hats. If you guys, a lot has happened since we last saw you. So if you guys want some swag, you can go to luxuryspecialsgear.com, luxuryspecialsgear.com, and I'll show that to you. All right, let's get on to today's show. I'm so excited. I'm going to bring him right on here. This gentleman, I saw him, I've known about him for years, but I was in Nashville in June speaking at Real Estate Webmasters, a great website, Morgan Carey. If you're not familiar, go to realestatewebmasters.com. And I saw Ken speak, and I was writing down notes after notes after notes. And I feel like I put a lot of content out there, a lot of videos, and I was like a sponge. I learned so much from Ken, and I know, hey, if I can learn, others can learn. And I was in his backyard this week, as I mentioned. So we met up for a drink and caught up. And I said, hey, I want to get you on our podcast. What's Friday look like? So here we are. Without further ado, I'm going to call him self-proclaimed. Maybe I'm giving him the nickname Mr. YouTube here. What's up, Ken?
What's up, Michael? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. And I love what you're doing. You're doing some amazing things. And you lead with a giving hand, which that's what I love about you. First, you're authentic. Everybody that I know, that when they see that we were together, like, oh man, we love Ken. And so you're doing some great things. So, you know, what I love about your story is it's not like your roots were in the Orlando market and you have this huge database of past clients and your parents grew up in that area and they own businesses and knew everybody. You moved from Michigan. Tell everybody your story and then we'll get right into YouTube.
Yeah, so I've been in the real estate game for 21 years. So I got in 2003. Built up a team in Michigan, in Detroit, doing not a lot of luxury, but it was a lot of door knocking, and it was open houses and expireds and for sale by owners and just kind of all that stuff. But I had built up a really good sphere there, and my wife and I in 2016 we came down here to buy this. The story goes we came down to buy a second home, and then we just never went home. We just decided, like, why do we live in Detroit where it's cold 6 months out of the year, and I could sell real estate anywhere, so why not? And so we relocated here, and over the past 8 years or so, we've built up a team. This year, we'll sell about 625 homes for about 350 million in volume, and a lot of it comes from, at least 50% of it comes from social media, and a lot of that becomes YouTube. And so it's been an interesting journey. We can talk about luxury, we talk about all that kind of stuff, but YouTube's definitely changed my life.
YouTube, and it's not going away, as you guys know. So depending on where you guys are listening, where you're watching from, you don't need to download anything. You can literally type in your questions for Ken or myself, whether you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We have multiple Facebook going on right now. Literally, it's all you got to do. And so please type in your questions, and we'd love to have you. Again, I have Ken here. He moved from Michigan. He's a Lions fan, and I was pulling for you guys, and we were talking football. Yeah, right? So we're going to have to go to do a football game this year.
Yeah, for sure.
And his Lions, the struggle's real, and it's real for the Bears too. Let's be honest with you. We're hanging on to 1985 here. That's all we got, But with that being said, love talking to you about football, sports, parenting, but we have him on here today. We're talking about YouTube is what we're talking about. So Ken, let's talk about we're going to talk basics, and then we're going to get more advanced. Okay. We're going to start basics, and we're going to get more advanced. So the basics, you create a YouTube account, a YouTube channel for free, right? All you need is a Gmail account.
Yeah, it's super simple. I mean, if you already have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. You just have to go in and activate it. So very, very simple to get started.
And through Canva and Fiverr.com, you can get nice custom headers made with your contact information and pretty it up, correct?
Yeah, there's a few things basically to set up your channel. We want to get your cover art set so people know what the channel is going to be about. But the most important part is that you just start posting. You can figure that stuff out along the way. I think too many people get caught up in, like, let me make my channel look perfect. Frankly, I don't even know what Mr. Beast's cover art looks like, and yet he's the biggest YouTuber there is. Look at his videos, right? Like, his videos come up in my feed or my kids' feed, and we're watching that. So the biggest thing is just start creating, and you can do that on your cell phone, and there's a lot of different ways we can kind of unpack it, though.
Yeah, great. And we are streaming on Instagram as well. Our Instagram is Luxury Listing Specials. For those that want to see Ken, want to ask a question, just go to our YouTube channel, look us up, Luxury Specialist, Michael LaFido. We're on there, and you can ask questions. We already have questions coming. Mike Russo, I'll ask that here in a minute. So again, type in your questions for me or Mr. YouTube, Ken here. And so Ken, so we talked about the basics, and you said you just have to be consistent. So sometimes agents get in their own way. They don't like the way they look or sound on video, et cetera. You have a beautiful studio there. I've tweaked and modified my office a little bit, but sometimes the authentic videos, I started this Luxury Minute from my car every day, and it's not that well polished and everything else, but people seem to like it. I like staying at the very minimum. What do you think? A video a week, 2 a month, very minimum?
Yeah, I think you have to start at least go all in and do one a week. I mean, YouTube reward if you want results. I mean, this is the thing. If you're looking to dabble and you're just like, maybe I'll do it every once in a while, but if you want to make it a pillar of your business, understand that it works. Everybody that I've taught or I just casually, friends of mine that we've masterminded over the years, everybody that's gone all in and posted once a week has made this pillar of their business. And so one of the things to commit to that, to fully understand, is yes, you're going to get leads. You're going to get leads that are the exact kind of people that you want to attract. So if you want to put out luxury content, about Chicago, you're going to get luxury leads in Chicago back. It's the most amazing thing, but it's also a positioning thing. So like you get better referrals from your past clients in Sphere. Other agents across the country start seeing that you are that, that expert in the area, and they start referring you. And so understanding that this is like a massive, massive opportunity. It's not just like, oh, this cute little YouTube channel. It's like, if you make this a part of your business, it will make everything else easier or unnecessary. So posting once a week forever is the goal. We post 2 times a week now, and now we've got multiple channels and that kind of thing. But yeah, posting once a week is a great way to signal to YouTube that you're serious. And the more at bats you get, the better your content gets, right? So if you post once a month or twice a month, it's just hard to get good at anything. It's like going to the gym once a month. You're not going to lose weight. You're not going to get in shape working out once a month. But if you do it multiple times, then you're going to
see results.
Yeah, you'll see results. So same thing with content marketing.
All right. So at least once a week, and you're doing twice a week. And so let's start with you first, and then I want to get into Mike Russo's question because it does dive deeper. So I appreciate your transparency. Just a reminder, do it. Good is good enough, right? Some people, you're waiting to lose weight. You get your gray hairs. I make fun of myself. I got one nostril that's bigger than the other. Just put yourself out there, right?
Yeah.
So you're doing twice a week. Talk to me about the percentage of how many times are you going live a month on your YouTube?
We go live at least 40 times a year. So the goal is every week, but I'm traveling and holidays and all that kind of stuff happens. So so for us, it's like yesterday I went live for an hour. I go live on Thursdays from like 7 to 8. And we take that content and then we chop it up into shorts for Instagram and TikTok. That's maybe, class 3.0. You don't have to do that now, but yeah, I have a long form video on Tuesdays where we're talking about areas, we're doing listing tours, we're doing all types of stuff that's more polished and professional. And then every Thursday night I sit right here and I go live. I use StreamYard, which is what you're using, and I can kind of talk with people and go live with my community. And the cool thing about StreamYard is you can go live on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. There's like a bunch of different ways that you can go live. So even if you don't have a big YouTube following, you can go live and it stays on YouTube and it becomes long form content that's searchable. And so it's a really easy way to get started for people that are a little bit nervous or unsure what to shoot.
That's great. Well, a couple of things. Larry Shackman, who's on my team, Larry asked, how many subscribers would you say a channel needs to be impactful and generate leads? That's a great question, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think one video could pop off and you get 2 or 3 leads right there. But I mean, I think I started seeing consistent leads when I had 1,000 subscribers. And then it was like, it went from once every other month to once a month to once a week to multiple times a day. And now, our heyday maybe a year ago when the market was really, really hot, we were getting anywhere between 5 and 10 YouTube leads a day. And so, and the cool thing about these leads too, Michael, is that they're not, we've all bought Zillow leads or pay-per-click or whatever, people that don't know you per se. These are like, think about the best referral you've ever received. That's a YouTube lead. Because they've already watched you. They've bought into who you are. They already believe what you're saying. You don't have to like convince them. You're typically not going against multiple agents because, they're usually just calling you. It's amazing.
So I have your YouTube. I Googled, in this case, I binged Ken Pozek, and it didn't even let me finish. Orlando Realtor, which is what you want, right? You want in your market. When people say Ken Pozek, they think videos, they think realtor. When they say Michael LaFido, they think realtor, they think luxury, right? That's on you. You are a brand online and offline.
Yep.
And so I call it repetitive engagement. Repetitive engagement, whether it be print, whether it be digital, they drive by the billboard, they go to their mailbox. You want to be all things, but video is a way to scale on a $0 budget in many cases. So I just Googled your name. Look at all these videos. You have really engaging thumbnails, which I do want to talk to you about thumbnails. And a thumbnail, let's talk about it since I'm talking about it now. Mm-hmm. A thumbnail is the image on a video before you hit the play button. So in this case, these are a bunch of thumbnails, best deals, interesting homes, Sunbridge update, Orlando Rich. And you hover over these and there's like a little preview that shows. And do you have any say on these previews? YouTube
picks them. Yep.
Okay. So these are your thumbnails, and you shared with me your thumbnail strategy in Nashville, and you want to share it right now?
Yeah, I think so. You're absolutely right. your thumbnail is really like the preview, right? So if you could create the most amazing, perfect video that has a great hook and is super engaging, but if nobody stops to click on the thumbnail to actually like watch the video, then it doesn't matter. So slowing down and understanding like the thumbnail matters a ton to signal to the viewer what your video might be about. Now, you'll notice that some now you typed in on Bing, so like some of these are a lot of my older thumbnails, but you'll notice that like there's only 1 to 2, maybe 3 words on most of our thumbnails. And you see some of my older ones, like the one on the middle right there, it says moving to Dr. Phillips. Like I wouldn't have moving to anymore. It would just be Dr. Phillips. And so like the larger fonts, that's very like 1 or 2 words is going to be the best, because many
Downtown
times
Orlando's Airbnbs, best deals. Just keep it simple.
Keep it simple. It doesn't need to be. Many agents that I teach, and I'll do a channel review for them. They'll try to fit their entire title on the thumbnail. So it's like, you know, you could best places to live in Orlando, all on the thumbnail. And you got to realize that they're so tiny on someone's phone when they're looking through and scrolling, that it's really the colors, it's really the branding, it's really like, can they get at a glance, like, yeah, even this far away from my screen, I can see the one in the middle is Shaq. And I'm like, oh wait, Shaq's home, $16 million home. Oh snap. I want to check this out.
Yeah, that one's got 1.8 million views, 1.8 million.
Yeah. And so like that one, I've sold, you know, multiple $1-million homes from that one video. People are like, I saw you did the Shack tour and I can't afford 16 million, but I've got a $2 or $3 million budget. So it's been kind of wild. That wasn't my listing, by the way. I just called a listing agent who had it listed, convinced them for me to do a video. And she was very kind in order to let me do that. And yeah, that's been a nice staple for us.
That's awesome. So great thumbnails are important. You're saying you're doing twice a week. Talk to me a little bit about equipment right now. So you and I have a nice webcam here in my office, and you do as well. You have a nice studio, good upward lighting. It looks very professional. This is probably where you do your weekly shows from. Are you doing consistent shows from there?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Do you do any videos from your mobile phone when you're out and about and upload those, or do live streams?
I mean, my first 150 videos are all shot from my cell phone. And so I shot them on my cell phone, edited them myself. Now you can use go hiring somebody on Upwork or Fiverr to edit the videos for you. You pay maybe $80 to $120 to have them edit it, make it look professional. But no, I usually use my cell phone only for like short form content at this point.
Uh-huh. And so how many of your videos, what percent are more vertical, right? Like, so full length versus the wide. So your show is probably wide.
Yeah. Everything on YouTube is wide. So they have YouTube Shorts, but we just don't really spend a lot of time on them because there's that's kind of like 2.0. But like you look at average watch time, you look at there's a lot of different reasons why like I don't love putting shorts on my main channel. But we have a big following on YouTube or on Instagram and TikTok. I've got 110,000 people on Instagram, 61,000 on TikTok, and it's all vertical.
Those are vertical. Okay, good. All right, I have another question, and he had to hop off here, but I want to make sure we're going to answer it for him. So, and maybe this is redundant, but and he says, please unpack it. So, Mike Russo here, out of the East Coast, had a great company called Spark Offer. Goes, how do you maximize it, Ken? Meaning your YouTube, and he's never looked at your channel, but how do you maximize it? So you already talked about consistency, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, also thinking about calls to action. So I think it's like the content that you shoot, and then making sure that when you shoot, you're putting out something that actually is going to attract people are the two things. And so it's like what you shoot. So for me, I put out area tours that end in listing videos. I do that a lot. So it's like, let me show you a really great neighborhood, a really great city. And so it tracks both buyers and sellers. And I'm very intentional with this because I want more sellers. We have plenty of buyers, but we're trying to get to more of like a 50-50 in terms of who reaches out to us. So we're trying to create videos that attract both. And so at the end, when I'm talking about, hey, listen, let me show you one of our newest listings. This is what we do for our sellers. And so we do a home tour at the end of the video, if you will. And so like, I'm very intentional. And throughout, you're not starting the video with, hey, this is Ken Pozek with Keller Williams, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of X, Y, and Z video. Like, nobody cares about you. They care about what are they going to learn, and they want to be entertained in the process. And so understanding like the psychology of your ideal client is that if you can teach them something, they will become a raving fan. You don't have to convince them how great you are. You just have to give away something. So that's kind of my thought process when I'm creating content, is like shoot content that's going to attract my ideal client and then keep them watching for as long as possible. So that way they get caught up in my web.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so. That's amazing, by the way. And so I teach a concept to realtors, and I remind them one of the most listened to radio stations that real estate agents and buyers and sellers listen to is WIIFM. What's in it for me?
Yeah.
And so, if you can remember, when you're creating video, they don't care about your awards and all this other stuff. They just want the meat and potatoes, right? And so, if you're giving tips to buyers and sellers, they want to. What are you going to do to save them time, money, and aggravation? In this case, they just want to know about the house, the unique features of it, and they don't care about like all the other things. And if they like you, then they'll know how to find you. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep. You got it.
Yeah, that's very helpful. And so, what is your call to action at the end? Do you have a consistent call to action when you're concluding your video? Is that where you kind of say, hey, and don't forget, go to kenpozek.com to find out more information about us?
Yeah, I think so. So it's halfway through the video. I'll say like, hey, listen, nobody else is putting out videos like this in Orlando. I'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. Hit the subscribe button. So that's like, 10 seconds or less, super, super quick. And then at the end of the video, I'm like, hey, listen, if you made it all the way to the end and you're looking to sell or buy a house anywhere in Central Florida, I want to be your real estate resource of choice. Reach out at theorlandoreal.com/YouTube to get started. And we put it at the bottom. And so it's just a squeeze page we've got set up to where people go there, they fill it out, and then they reach out to us to buy.
That's awesome. All right, so what am I not asking that I should be asking you right now? What other things that our listenership should know about starting from YouTube? We talked about equipment. We talked about how to start a YouTube channel. Consistency is key. Again, what's the average length of the videos that you're posting? I guess let me start with that.
Our videos are anywhere between like 8 and 12 minutes long. There's a magic that happens with advertising on YouTube that if you have them at least 8 minutes long, they can put more ads around your videos. And YouTube is an advertising platform. And so our thought process, which we've proven to be true, is that if I can create a video that is engaging and people watch more of it, that YouTube will push it out to more people. And then the longer the video is, again, as long as it's engaging and people are still watching, the longer the video is, the better it is. So yesterday I went live for over an hour on YouTube and I just answered questions and I talked about the news and I talked about some different things happening that affect homeowners here in Orlando. And people watch, like hundreds of people come watch us live. And then after that, thousands of people will watch the replay over the next week. And it's a really powerful thing. But I think going back to what else is important, titles are massively important. So especially as a new channel, you're trying to signal to YouTube and or Google what your channel's all about. And so many agents I see on YouTube will put like, hey, I've got a new listing. It's 278 Main Street, Chicago, Illinois. And you're like, nobody's Googling that. Nobody. And so YouTube doesn't even know what to do with that. And so you get like 2 views and one of them's your mom. And so, so think about that. Like, I think you have to think about your ideal client. What are they searching for? I'm going to create content for stuff that I know that they're going to be searching for. It's like best neighborhoods to live in, new construction areas. There's going to be, you can use Google and literally just start in the term, the bar up top, or Bing if you're Michael, going over and start typing in like Chicago suburbs, and then it'll show you what other people are already searching for. And so if people start searching Chicago suburbs or Chicago luxury, are they searching for, and then what does Google finish that out with? So it makes sense. Like the search suggestion area will drop down and say, hey, when people are Googling, they start and they look over on this. And so you can create content and videos based off of their suggested searches, make those the title of your video. And then you've got an opportunity at least to get found organically.
That's great. And you're talking about organic. When you're looking at views on YouTube, are those unique views or are those total views?
They're
so in other words, your Shaquille O'Neal one, that's 1.2 million. If somebody watched that 187 times, is 187 towards the 1.2, or is it 1 because it's a unique IP address?
If one person watched it 200 times, then it would be 200 views.
Okay. Just curious. Do you know what the average YouTube video, how many views it has?
I don't.
That was a question that somebody asked me pre-pandemic, and I believe the average YouTube video at the time, I want to say it was like less than 400 views. So again, not sure about that, but
So
that's
let's see. As of January 2024, the average YouTube video gets 5,500 views.
wow, 5,500. That's a lot.
Yeah. So people in vlogs are 2,000. Entertainment is 9,800. Right. And so that one of the things you got to think about as a content creator, though, and as a real estate agent doing content, is like our total addressable market, our TAM, is pretty low, right? Like how many people are currently today living in the Chicago suburbs? Do you know?
Millions, but I don't know.
Million. So your total addressable market is 2 or 3 million. That's great, right? Mr. Beast, his total addressable market is 7 billion. Right. So like if people are trying to compare themselves to some of these really big creators, or, you know, if you're like I'm like Graham Stephan, he's an amazing creator on YouTube. It talks about real estate and finance. If I'm trying to compare myself and my views to his total addressable market is 400 million people, where mine is maybe 2 million. And then also it's not even just the 2 million, it's the people that are also looking to possibly be interested in real estate now or in the next 2 or 3 years. So like if I get 10,000 views or 20,000 views on a video, I'm happy. Like 20,000 is kind of my target. Sometimes we hit it. Sometimes we way exceed it. Sometimes we fall short. But like, if I get 10 to 20,000 people to watch my video, I'm happy. I beat the YouTube average, but then I also I know I'm hitting a certain amount of people. And then think about that, Michael. You've been in front of and spoken in front of thousands of people before. What would it be like to get in front of 20,000 people a week and get to talk about real estate? Like, what do you think that would do to your business?
Yeah, that's a great point. Again, we have Ken Pozek, Mr. YouTube here. If you guys have any questions for him, type them in. We're getting some great comments. I appreciate everybody. They're appreciating what you're doing as well, Ken. So that is really good information that Ken is sharing. Meat and potatoes, as I like to talk about. Meat and potatoes. Mickey Khan chimed in. Mickey, former CEO of Luxury Portfolio, and he has an amazing event going in September, I believe, but he puts together great webinars as well. So we got some really powerful people watching here. It's a topic that many people are intrigued. We have limiting beliefs. People don't like the way they sound, the way they look in many cases. So you mentioned,
Michael?
What's that?
I said, you know what I say about that? If they don't like how they look and they don't like how they sound, well, unfortunately, that's how you look and that is how you sound. So
get over it, right?
Just get over it. Like you don't go to a listing appointment and they're like, don't look at me. Let me just, you're there. And so you show up the way that you show up. And so you might as well enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I appreciate that too. So, okay, guys, if you have any questions, please ask them to Ken. A couple things that I want to remind you, we're coming to you. We're going to be doing tons of educational videos. We're going to be doing these live streams again. This is podcast 296. Look it up on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Luxury Listing Specialist. We're so excited to re-kick it off. We took the summer off. Ken talked about he does about 40 videos out of the 52 weeks out of the year. So you don't have to do it every week. If you're going to travel, you're taking time away with your family, that's okay, is what I hear Ken saying. But be consistent up to that point, right? So if you take a week off here or there, but again, how are you planning your videos? Are you scripting your videos? Do you bullet point your videos? Do you use a teleprompter? Because 8 to 12 minutes is long for some people.
It's a good question. So I started out trying to script them, and I would have a note down, and it just, have you ever watched somebody read off a teleprompter who's not that good at it?
Last night I watched it in
Chicago. Yeah, touche. So unfortunately, like, that's how you're going to sound, and you're going to come off robotic, and it's not going to be great. And like, yeah, your words might be perfect, but the way that it comes across won't be. And people can feel that it feels fake. And so my greatest suggestion to people when they're starting out is just have your notes app open on your phone, and then you're going to write a hook. Now, a hook is just the first 3 to 10 seconds of your video. And so it's like, in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 3 areas that are exploding in Orlando, and you're not going to believe the third one. Okay, that's a hook, right? So I wrote that down. I can say that. I can read it on my notes app. and then I read it to the camera, and then you shut it off. That's the beautiful thing, is like, you and I have been talking for 29 minutes now, and we haven't got to stop, and we haven't turned the camera off. But like when you're out in the field or you're on your cell phone, you literally only have to shoot 10 to 30 seconds at a time. And so the next thing I'll do on my notes app is I'll say, point number 1, talk about location. Okay, great. So then, and then point number 2, talk about the house style type. Number 3, talk about job creation. Number 4, if there's a couple points that I need to remember that are data points, maybe I'll write those down. But I'm literally just like looking at my hook, putting my phone in my pocket, shooting, looking down at my phone, looking at point number 3, shooting. And then you kind of put it all together on the editing floor. And like I like to say, like, you got to trust your editor is going to make it look good, because it's not typically going to be you just standing in front of a house talking. They're going to put B-roll over it, which is like, kind of telling the story. You're the audio, but the B-roll is telling, like, when you talk about how beautiful the kitchen is, you're a good looking guy, Michael, but nobody wants to see your face when you talk about the kitchen. They want to see the kitchen. Right. And so like that's the kind of stuff that makes video like so much easier, and hopefully gives people a little bit of like, relief that they don't need to go shoot a 10-minute long video without making a mistake. You're going to make a mistake, and that's actually totally fine.
So number 1 is the hook. That's what draws them in, the interest, whether they like the topic or not, or it's got to be compelling. Number 2 are the points that they're going to learn, the takeaways that you're going to cover. Yep. 1, 2, 3, etc. And then is number 3, the conclusion, if you will, like the call to action.
Yeah, the CTA. So it's just like, how are they going to get a hold of you? And so maybe you don't have a great website yet. Maybe you're not set up to get inbound leads that way. You can set up. I love this idea. This is what I did for my first 450 videos. I just had a dedicated email set up. It was info@pozekgroup.com. And everybody could remember that. I put it at the bottom of my videos, and I knew that every email that came in from that email address, I just had that one forward to my main one. But every email that I saw was forward from info. I knew it was a YouTube lead. So I knew it was working. And so even if people don't reach out, although many of them do, and send you a brick of, I've been watching you for 3 years, I'm finally moving to Orlando, this is all the stuff I'm looking for, you're my agent. Even if they don't say all the stuff about YouTube, you know where that lead came from.
That's a great point. And so people are looking, they're Googling, they're looking you up. They feel like they know you already. It builds trust. They feel like they know your personality. Yep. You don't have to sell them. They're pre-sold. Is that fair to say?
They are pre-sold. You got it.
Yeah. That's the benefit of video. And so your call to action, you're sending them to a landing page for a free report or something like that?
No, it's just to get started. So it's just like, hey, go to orlandoreal.com/YouTube. That's our website. And then it just says like, hey, thanks for watching. Give us your information. What are you looking to do, buy or sell? Anything else we should know about you? And then that goes right to our inside sales department right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to put that on the screen, the 1, 2, and 3. So Ken, some great information. We have a couple questions, and I want to make sure we cover the questions. And then I don't want to keep you too much on your Friday. I got some celebrating. Today's my birthday.
I was going to say happy birthday.
37 today, guys. And so I'm excited. August 23, Michael Jordan, the year of Jordan here, right? So again, Ken talked about number 1, your hook. Number 2 is point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, etc. And number 3 is your CTA, or your call to action. Fair to say, Ken?
Yep.
Yeah, some great information there. All right, let's get to some questions. All right, well, Larry just said, be intentional, great advice. Lorraine says, what content do you think could work to start?
Yeah, I think in this market, it still works really well, of like moving to the area stuff, moving to or area tour stuff works really, really well. I think, again, you always blend it with like a listing potentially, because people want to see, hey, what does a listing kind of cost me roughly in this area? I think those are really powerful kind of things. That's what I do every Tuesday. It's kind of area tour, home tour mixed into one. And if you could do that forever, and then many people will say, well, I'll eventually run out of areas. Well, here's the thing, Michael, is like, if you look at your overall viewers, only about 20% of your views are going to come from subscribers. 80% will come from somebody that's never subscribed to you. So you could put out the same area tours every 6 months, updating them, new listings, new area information, new data, and you can have that forever. You can also, this is something that I've started doing, especially with our lives, was just tell the news from the perspective of a real estate agent. So, hey, politics season's coming up. I'm not going to go into talking about left or right, Democrat, Republican, but what I am going to talk about are the 3 initiatives on the ballot that affect homeowners. And I'm not going to talk about if I like them or not. I'm just going to talk about what they are. Hey, if this goes through, this was what it means for a homeowner, and you get to vote accordingly. Like, that stuff gets very Googleable. And then now you're positioning yourself as an area expert and raising the bar from a positioning standpoint of not just being a real estate agent, but I'm actually a fiduciary. I'm explaining to you guys what's going on in the geopolitical climate here locally. And you're also a real estate agent, so they're obviously thinking about you. So news changes all the time. So you'll have an endless amount of things to talk about.
And so that's a 8 to 12-minute video that you put out every Tuesday. And again, you're splicing, you're editing, you're doing the hook in the beginning, the points. You're showing some things around town, but you're also maybe concluding at an actual property. In other words, hey, here's a property we're featuring this week.
Yep, you got it.
So that's your Tuesday, and you do Thursdays your long form video as well. So those are your 2 videos a week right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. All right. Ken says, my boy Scott Williams, Michigan/Florida. Hey, Ken, one of the biggest mistakes I've made in real estate careers when I was working with Mark Z for a few months and not walking down the hall and introducing myself.
Well, Mark Z is a good dude up there in Michigan, where he and I used to be in the same Coldwell Banker office, that we were in the same Keller Williams office. And Scott was up there when I used to live in Detroit. So what's up, Scott?
All right, cool. So I didn't even pre-read it here. I just know my boy, he wasn't going to throw some spam up there. All right, Lorraine says, what's the best way to connect with you, Ken?
Yeah, at Ken Pozek over on Instagram is where I'm most active.
Okay, all right, perfect. So at Ken Pozek on Instagram, okay? All right, what else we got here question-wise?
Lorraine has another one. Oh, there you go. Yeah, good.
Question for you both. What assets or support from the brokerage would an agent appreciate? I'm assuming he's talking about video. When it comes to video, I've always told, because one of the things we teach brokerages and agents and team leaders is launch luxury divisions. And then we, of course, provide support to them. But when they're asking me about designing an office, I tell them, have a dedicated green room, a dedicated room for videos. And don't make it open, because a lot of people have camera shy and they won't do it if people are walking by or watching them when they're filming. So if you had a closed office space with good lighting and a good backdrop, could even be like a step and repeat like behind me that's branded towards your brand. So you have your agents branding Keller Williams or Remax all the time, but you provide good equipment, good lighting, privacy. I think that would be amazing. That would be my suggestion, Mickey. Ken?
I think, I don't think everybody wants to be on camera. And so I think for us, we have more agents than we can handle on our team. Like that want to join us. We have between, 20 and 40 people that ask to join our team every month. And they don't want to come to my team to get on camera. They want to just get on my team to take advantage of the systems that we have. And some people do want to get on camera. And because of that, we've got our videographer and our editor and our green room, and we've got other things. But a lot of people just want to take advantage of that. And so this is the other thing for like broker owners to really wrap their mind around is, if you want to attract more agents to your brokerage, go create a local brand that they can be a part of, that they can be proud of, that they can share. Like we have our agents on our team, like we put out short form content. They're sharing that to their stories on Instagram. They're sharing that to that over on Facebook. And they're really proud about it, right? Because there's not a lot of people doing this at a really excellent level. Most people are just throwing out their stupid, just sold, Instagram posts. Nobody cares. But if you can actually go put out something that's something that they can be proud of, you'll attract agents. And then for the ones that do want to get on camera, empowering them to do that, helping them build their brand underneath you. That's what we've done and been very successful at.
That's great. Somebody already asked the question, because we always conclude what's the best way to be in touch. But Ken, I want to be very sensitive of your time. I'm going to see if there's any other questions that we have here. Let's see, anything else coming in? Birthday, happy birthday. Thank you. Share some apps you use every day. Let's ask that. That's a good one. Share some apps. Do you have an app that you like? Or let's talk with video apps first. Maybe with topics. How do you get inspired? Where do where do you get your inspiration? Where you're not a one-trick pony, always talking about the same thing in your videos.
Yeah. So a few things. So app wise, let's talk about that. So I use StreamYard, which is what you're on right now. You can go live in multiple places. I use that for my Thursday lives. Other than that, really good one is, I mean, again, Fiverr is where I got my editors when I first started out. There's like Adobe Stock is really, really good for finding B-roll. There's a lot of other companies out there that you can do. Like if you type in Google and just like B-roll content, because if say you're trying to shoot in your studio like this and you just want to do talking head videos, you don't want to go out and you don't have a videographer. You just want to set up a camera and hit record and then do your videos, but you want to tell the story. Understanding that like storytelling is really well done with that B-roll that I talked about, where you're showing off stuff. So say, Michael, you're talking about the Chicago suburbs or maybe the Chicago downtown area, and you want to have that beautiful drone footage that comes over as you're talking about it. Where do you find that? Well, like Adobe Stock's great. Storyblocks is great. And you have to pay for these services, right? But they become royalty free once you download them. And it's just a way to like completely level up your content and help be a better storyteller. So StreamYard when you're going live, Fiverr to find an editor, and Storyblocks or Adobe Stock is great. The way that I stay relevant and find information, there's a lot of really things that I pay thousands of dollars a year now for subscriptions. You don't have to right away, but you could just go to Google, go to the news tab and type in your city. And you're going to see all of the local news organizations talking about what's going on in your city, and just scroll back for the past week or 30 days. And it's going to give you ideas to do videos about, because again, if people are searching that and there's other news outlets talking about it, then people care about it. And so you can shoot content that way. And so that's a way that I've never ran out of information. But I think subscribing to stuff like construction.com is a really powerful tool. It's like $1,500 a year though. So again, make sure you do it. Lead with revenue. Don't go right away. But I use construction.com every day to figure out what's coming to my area. And so construction.com basically pulls all the permitting data together and puts it in one place for you by zip code. And so I can see like, hey, there's a new 1,000 unit development coming to Orlando in the suburbs and nobody's talking about it yet. I'm going to be the first. And so I try to do some newsjacking where I go in and I'll talk about it. I'll reach out to the developer and the builder that's going to be building it, and I'll craft a story and then shoot a video about it. That's the kind of stuff that really pops off, and it's a good positioning play.
That's awesome. Ken, you've been amazing. At Ken Pozek is the best way to stay in touch. Appreciate the thank you. Thanks for the birthday wishes. I got birthday wishes here. Mickey says thank you. Again, Mickey's somebody that you guys should know each other as well. But awesome. Ken, I appreciate all you're doing. And Lorraine, you're welcome for all the nuggets as well. Ken, great show. We're kicking off. What better way to kick off Luxury Listing Specials podcast? Ken, I'm going to let you go. You're amazing. We have a few minutes left here in the show. Ken, thank you again. Let me throw this back on here. We were honored to have on here. Where is it? Hold on. I got to find there we go. Mr. Ken Pozek, Mr. YouTube. Thanks for joining me today, and I appreciate you. And we'll be talking offline. Okay. All right. Ken was great. Guys, a couple things I want to remind you of. Number one is if you want to get a copy of our best-selling book, Secret to Top Luxury Agents, go to freeluxurybook.com. This book, you can purchase it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. We have Kindle, softcover, hardcover. I want to get you, if you're outside of the United States, I'll get you the digital copy, the ebook, absolutely free. If you're in the United States, just pay the shipping and handling, very small. Go to freeluxurybook.com. I want to share with you a couple things on the screen here. And this is what I want to share with you is right here. I'm going to share with you my screen. The last thing I want to share with you is if you want some swag, we just relaunched our specialist gear, our Lux Specialist Gear shop. If you want hoodies, we got our Lux the Lion hats, okay, different colors. We got tiger orange. My son was a tiger. We got patriotic tiger orange. We got tons of hats. We got hoodies. You can purchase our objection handling playing cards there, okay? But let me share with you, if you scroll down on here, these are some of our gear. Ask me about real estate. One of my favorites, I wore to the gym today. I'd rather be selling your house. And we have different bundles and everything else. So you can go to, I'll drop it in here, our specials gear. I'll drop it right in here in the comments section. So you guys can have fun with that. If you want, right there, it's our Shopify store. There's the direct link. And again, we are going to be giving away hoodies. We're going to specialize in some of our bundles. Our bundles, you can buy hoodies, hats, all that good stuff. It's a lot of fun. We probably lose money on it, but we have fun doing it. So again, guys, get a copy of your book. And if you have a copy of our book, please leave us a review. freeluxurybook.com. If you want to find out more about the co-authors and everybody that's in the actual book, you can go to Secrets of Top Luxury Agents. I'll show it to you right here. Secrets of Top Luxury Agents. There's a cool video there. You scroll down, you'll see a video of me there about the author, but you keep scrolling, you'll see some great testimonials. You'll see some things about the co-authors, Glenn Stearns, Julie Foppel, Jack Cotton. Okay. So you can read about the co-authors, etc. Go to secretsoftopluxuryagents.com. I'm your host, Michael LaFido. You guys have been amazing. It's my birthday. Make it a great day. And remember, life is what drives real estate. You know, we are in a very contentious election here in the United States. Remember, love is love, and coexist means coexist, even if somebody votes differently than you. My name is Michael LaFido. Let's prove others wrong. Until next time, you're listening to another episode of Luxury Specialist. We're proving others wrong. You're proving others wrong. And if you have any questions, reach out. Thank you guys so much, and make it a great day. Take care.